Okay, in this video, we're going to go over settings, the settings option on the tablet. So when you open it up for the first time and you want to get using it, it's important to set the settings to your preference. So let's click on settings. You'll notice that in settings, you're going to have 4 options. And I recommend that before you even go forward, you connect your tablet to the internet and you check this software update button, which is exactly what it is. You click on it and it checks for an update for your PSA 200 tablet. So if I click on this, it will verify that you are or are not up to date, and if you are not, it will be ready to download the application for you. And if you are having trouble with this or you're concerned that you are up to date, I'd recommend you just reach out to Hilti yourself, and I'm sure they'll be able to help you out with getting this updated in another way. If there was a download available, after you checked for it, it would say download and update once you got the download completed. The other option on here is update the PS1000. This is only if you have a PS1000 that's not updated. You can look at your PS1000 and you can check to make sure you have the most recent update version on it. If you don't, you can come to the software in here. You can press download, and what it'll do is it'll download a zip file of the software update that you need on your PS1000 to get some of the newer features. And all you need to do is basically turn your PS1000 off, plug your USB into the side of the PS1000 with this update package that you were given, and it will, when you turn the unit back on, when you turn the PS1000 back on, it'll update it. That's what this is. I recommend that if you are going to do this, that you reach out to Hilti or your specialist, and they will be able to help you with that so that you don't hurt anything. But that's what this is designed for. It's designed to give you an update for your PS1000 unit if you are a PS1000 user. So that's it for software updates. That's all it does. The second one is this info tab, and this is the second one I think that you'd probably be interested in. This is where you can come in and check your software version, and it'll tell you what you're running. Is the application that you want to be cognizant of? If Hilti or whoever you're working with is asking you about the version you're running, this is where you can find it. The information tab, and go to your software version. These other documents are, just as they're described, the legal information for the tablet itself, if you are interested in reading those. Let's go ahead and look at the country option. Essentially, this is simply where you set your settings on what you prefer. So for me, English USA, and I'm going to go ahead and change my units to Imperial because I prefer to see things in Imperial units. But that's all your preference. And lastly, we have options with the settings gear. Depending on the unit you're using, you might want to have certain settings turned on or off for visualization purposes, especially if you think you're going to use these options. Keep them turned on. If not, go ahead and keep them turned off. But we'll go into these. For what I'm doing, I'm going to go ahead and turn these both on. And I'll make sure that as I go over the features in the following videos, you can see what these are and you can determine for yourself if you want these on or off. But essentially, long story short, the EM sensor on the PS1000 is going to show you your sensor data that you got from your electromagnetic sensor on the PS1000 if you had that turned on when you did a scan. If you don't use that EM sensor, then you might as well just keep this turned off. This one down here is for expert mode on PS300. Typically when you use the PS300, you are telling the tool what rebar you have in your slab, and it's spitting back to you the coverage size. Turning this on, turning expert mode on, essentially lets you switch those roles. It lets you tell the tool, it lets you tell the software what coverage the rebar should be at, so that it can spit back out to you the diameter size. If that's how you're using the PS300, then you want to have expert mode turned on. It's not common, so usually I keep this turned off, but I'm going to go ahead and keep it on so you can see what that looks like in the software. So that is it for settings. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments.